the GOATs, right? How you gonna sit there and tell me Steph is not in that conversation?
I said that before.
You get what I'm saying? You can't sit there and tell me.
I said that and people clown me.
In Steph's eyes, right? Think about what Steph said. Probably, I don't know. It probably sits from. It's Mike, it's Cole, and then it's me.
That's interesting. That's very interesting.
Curry looking for that opening. Steps back. Crossover. Fires away. Wow! Another three! James trying to harass Curry. Curry off the dribble. Layup off the glass. Shot clock winding down. Curry's going to have to put it up. Launches it up. Shot clock. Oh! He knocks it down!
He's not going to put Bron over himself.
See?
But he has every legitimate argument.
Steph Curry recently made a statement that rubbed a lot of people the wrong way. When he was asked where he ranks himself among the greatest basketball players of all time, he answered without hesitation: Michael Jordan first, Kobe Bryant second, and himself at number 3. For many fans, that response sounded laughable. It was quickly dismissed as arrogance or outright delusion. But what if Steph Curry actually has a case that most people are unwilling to consider? When you take a closer look at what he has accomplished, and just as importantly how he accomplished it, the argument becomes far more interesting. His impact on the game goes beyond championships and awards, touching the very way basketball is played and understood. By the time this discussion is over, there's a real chance your entire perspective on Steph Curry's legacy will change.
7 to shoot. Curry, deep one! Bullseye!
Almost lost it out of bounds. Curry cutting. Oh my goodness.
See Murray at midcourt trying to keep from getting a catch. Here's Curry, deep triple! It's good! We're tied again!
You know, in the shot he made a tie towards the end, it's a shot that, only he can make.
Before Steph Curry arrived, the Golden State Warriors were a complete mess. Calling them bad would actually be generous. From 1995 to 2009, the franchise posted a win percentage of just 37.6%. The third worst in the entire NBA over that span. Only the Los Angeles Clippers, who seemed perpetually cursed, and the Vancouver Grizzlies finished below them. In fact, the Grizzlies' situation became so dire that the franchise eventually had to relocate to Memphis just to survive. The Warriors' lack of success during that era is best captured by one brutal stat: 5 total playoff wins across 14 seasons. That figure ranked second lowest in the league during that period. The only team worse was the Grizzlies, who didn't win a single playoff game, making Golden State look almost respectable by comparison. In 2009, if you told anyone that the Warriors would go on to dominate the next decade, you would have been laughed out of the room. What happened next changed basketball history in ways no one saw coming. Steph Curry's rise to greatness looks nothing like the path taken by most superstars. He didn't join an established dynasty or team up with other elite players to chase easy championships. Instead, the worst franchise in professional basketball transformed into the most dominant team of an entire generation because of what he built from the ground up. That distinction alone separates Steph Curry's legacy from almost everyone else in the game.
Curry handling, crossing over, driving in, clinging on his hip. Circles to the corner, spades and fires a 3, hit another one. He's hit 3 in a row.
Did you see what happened though on that play?
Beautiful.
Loyalty in professional sports is usually nothing more than a slogan. Empty words printed on motivational posters. Steph Curry, however, actually lived it when everything around him fell apart. In 2020, the Warriors collapsed to a 15-50 record, finishing dead last in the entire NBA. Almost everyone covering the league declared the dynasty officially over. When Steph returned healthy the following season, he carried the team to 39 wins. Even that wasn't enough to reach the playoffs. Media outlets rushed to write Golden State's obituary, with many suggesting the franchise needed a complete teardown. To most observers, the Warriors were finished. This is where Steph separated himself from nearly every superstar of his era. He never demanded a trade. He didn't start a podcast to complain about his situation. His agent didn't leak frustration to reporters, and Steph never publicly criticized the front office, even when questionable decisions were made. He simply kept showing up, kept working, and kept believing, long after everyone else had given up. When you compare his approach to that of his peers, his uniqueness becomes even clearer. LeBron James changed teams 4 times. Kevin Durant played for 4 different franchises. James Harden moved 5 times, and Kawhi Leonard switched teams twice while load managing so often that fans sometimes forget he's still in the league. Superstar movement defines modern basketball, and jumping ship at the first sign of adversity is often praised as smart and strategic. Steph Curry looked at that entire culture and chose loyalty instead. And what happened in 2022 shocked everyone who had already written him off.
Hannah, I'm told that James Harden wants a trade to the Philadelphia 76ers.
Apparently Durant requested a trade from the Nets today.
This stuff is hard. And you got to stay together if you got the guts. And you don't find the first door and run out of it.
Golden State's championship win caught the basketball world completely off guard. Just 3 years earlier, most media members had declared the Warriors finished. The prevailing narrative was that Steph Curry was wasting the final years of his prime on a roster that could no longer compete. Many analysts were convinced the dynasty ended the moment Kevin Durant walked out the door. Every one of those predictions proved to be wrong. Steph carried a team that was running on fumes to his 4th NBA championship and, in the process, finally claimed the Finals MVP award that critics had long held against him. That 2022 title means more than any other ring on his resume, and not because of competition level or raw statistics. That victory proved Steph Curry never needed Kevin Durant to win at the highest level. It showed that the Warriors' dynasty wasn't built on lucky breaks or perfect timing. When everything falls apart and the entire world counts you out, finding a way to win anyway is what separates true legends from talented players who never quite reach that level.
You and Dominique Foxworth are going to sit on First Take and say that Steph Curry will not be in the conversation for a championship in the next 4 years.
Curry against Horford, gets past him inside, off the glass again. Fakes, fires, three-pointer, bang! Steph Curry from downtown, a 15-point lead.
But to be honest with you, I don't see the Golden State Warriors bringing home another championship.
Longevity discussions in basketball usually revolve around LeBron James and Kevin Durant aging gracefully, yet Steph Curry performs at the same elite level and receives far less credit for it. In the current season, he is averaging 28.5 points per game while shooting 47% from the field and 39% from three-point range. He has already recorded 3 games with 40 or more points, including a 49-point explosion that served as a clear reminder that his peak has not faded. Approaching 38 years old, Steph is still shredding every defensive scheme designed to stop him. He now has 44 career 40-point games after turning 30, tying Michael Jordan for the most in NBA history. That stat alone should end any debate about his longevity. The same Michael Jordan who is considered untouchable in all-time rankings is tied with Steph in one of the hardest categories for aging players to maintain. Guards are not supposed to age like this. Their legs usually go first, quickness fades, and shooting mechanics slow down over time. Steph Curry defies everything analysts believe about point guard decline. While LeBron receives constant praise for maintaining elite production in his late 30s, often earning entire segments dedicated to his conditioning and durability, Steph matches that output from a position with a much shorter shelf life and barely gets mentioned in those conversations. The truth is, many people decided where Steph ranks years ago and have refused to update their opinions despite overwhelming new evidence. The numbers tell a clear story that many fans simply choose to ignore. Beyond performance, Steph's professionalism further separates him from nearly every other star in today's player empowerment era. His approach feels almost old-fashioned compared to his peers. In an era where players frequently air grievances on podcasts, announce trade demands on Instagram, and manipulate media narratives to protect their image, often at the expense of teammates or coaches, Steph does none of that. He handles his business quietly and professionally, like someone from a different generation.
Right? Think about what Steph said. Probably, I don't know. It probably sits from. It's Mike, it's Cole, and then it's me. Right? Like, he's not going to put Braun over himself.
See?
But he has every legitimate argument
and I asked
to sit there.
Steph Curry's approach has always been simple. Clock in, perform at an elite level, clock out, and repeat. Even when the Warriors struggled through difficult stretches, he never threw his teammates under the bus in interviews or press conferences. Front office decisions frustrated him at times, but those frustrations stayed private instead of becoming public drama. Media members repeatedly tried to bait him into controversy, and every single time, he refused to take it. Franchise players who conduct themselves this way have become rare, and that kind of leadership matters far more than most casual fans realize. Comparing Steph across eras to legends like Kobe Bryant, Magic Johnson, or Tim Duncan is one way to evaluate his career, but a more revealing analysis looks at him against his own generation. In that comparison, he stands completely alone. Nearly all of his peers followed the same blueprint: chase championships by forming super teams and leave their original franchises the moment real obstacles appeared. Prioritizing rings over loyalty became the norm, and players are rarely criticized for those choices. But that reality should change how accomplishments are judged when compared to someone who chose the harder path. History offers plenty of examples. Carmelo Anthony tried to build something meaningful in New York, only to watch it collapse as the Knicks remained dysfunctional throughout his tenure. Shaquille O'Neal reached the finals as a young star in Orlando, lost the series, and immediately left for Los Angeles when a better opportunity arose. Even the most dominant and physically gifted players in basketball history couldn't accomplish what Steph Curry did, building a dynasty from nothing, sustaining it through dark periods, and walking away with his legacy strengthened. That takes more than talent alone. Steph's 30s alone produced a resume that rivals any player in league history when examined in isolation. 2 championships headline that decade of excellence, alongside a finals MVP, 7 All-NBA selections, and a scoring title. Those are achievements most players never reach at any point in their careers. Around him, the roster was overhauled multiple times, and key players missed extended time with injuries during crucial stretches. Time and again, Golden State was counted out, and time and again, Steph proved everyone wrong. Beyond trophies and awards, basketball itself looks different because of Steph Curry. He showed what was possible from 30 feet away, and teams that once hesitated to shoot threes now launch 40 or more per game without hesitation. Young players routinely take shots from distances that would have gotten them benched a generation ago. Coaches design entire offensive systems around spacing and three-point shooting, general managers build rosters differently, and player development programs at every level emphasize perimeter shooting. Very few athletes in any sport can claim they fundamentally changed how their game is played,